Welcome to BaytBushra. I'm Bushra and this is my home. Today we're making maqloobeh. Maqloobeh is a very traditional Middle Eastern style dish made with rice and some kind of meat and some fried or baked veggies. My favorite kind of maqloobeh is the eggplant maqloobeh. So that's what we're making today. We're gonna make a very simple, basic, very delicious, aromatic maqloobeh with some eggplant and some lamb. And the other variations include cauliflower, potato, carrots, all kinds of things. So that's what's so beautiful about this dish, and depending on where you're from in the Middle East or where you travel to in the Middle East, you'll have different types of maqloobeh. All of them are delicious, but this is my version today. The first thing you're gonna need are some eggplants, of course, for this maqloobeh. We're going to wash these and then slice them and then peel them and slice them and salt them. Okay, so here I have 4 eggplants. We're gonna start with this. This is the first thing you wanna do, the earliest thing you wanna do in your maqloobeh prep. I'm just going to peel them and then cut them, and I'll show you how we're gonna salt them. So you're gonna need a large tray like this, and I have a microfiber towel here, and then I'm gonna put some paper towels as well. Okay, so I've already started this. I wanted to show you how I do one of them so you can follow along. So you wanna take off this head right here, this green part, just the head, and then you wanna take these pieces off as well. Trash. And then you want to peel it. So the way I like to peel it is I like to peel the entire thing. Some people like to keep a like zebra pattern. Oh, this is horrible to make. But like, see how there's like one black piece and then just like that. For example, they would go around like this and they make this kind of a zebra pattern. I don't like this. I don't like the skin at all. Some people keep the skin on, and some people also not preserve, but like save the skin so that when they're putting it in the pot, they line the pot with the skin so that nothing gets burnt. So I'm just going to peel this and then I'll show you how to slice it. Okay, and then you want to take the butt off as well. I don't know how to explain this. So I like to slice these in circles, as you can see. And here's my lined tray with some paper. You can also cut them long ways, but I'm just going to cut them in circles. And I do this because that was kind of fat. Sorry about that. When you get to the bottom of the eggplant, sometimes, most of the time, the eggplant has like seeds, see? And if there's a little bit of seeds like this, it's fine. If there's a lot of seeds, you don't want that. So I'm just gonna turn this around to the end so I see where my seeds are. Then I just go around the edges and I slice the edges off. You know, so you just want the eggplant flesh, but not the eggplant seeds. The seeds are bitter. Okay, so we're just gonna arrange these here. So these extra ones, I might put them into the maqloobeh. Most likely I'm just gonna eat them as a snack. And then you have some salt here, and you just want to salt all of your eggplant. You want to do this because eggplant has a lot of water, and the way we're going to cook it, we're actually going to fry it. You can also bake, but when you fry or you bake, it's going to release a lot of water, and you don't want that. You want it to be a little bit crispy. Okay, so we're going to do one side and then flip all of them over. They've all been flipped over. Like I said, there's a little bit of seeds. It's okay. The best ones are going to be like these pieces. I'm going to salt this side as well. It's okay if you're generous with the salt, it won't be a problem. And then I have more paper towel, and I'm just going to place this on top. You want to just leave it to the side for a couple of hours at least. The salt is going to draw out all the moisture from the eggplants, and then we can cook them. So you're going to leave that tray off to the side, like I said. If you don't want to use eggplant, you don't have to. Some people like the cauliflower one. Some people mix cauliflower and eggplant. Some people mix cauliflower, eggplant, and potato. You can do that. If you're going to do cauliflower, the only thing is you would cut them into smaller pieces, as if like, you know, like just like smaller florets. Put them in some hot water, and then once it starts to boil, take them out. Let them dry, and then you're gonna fry them. So first of all, you have to boil them / steam them, and then you fry them. If you want to use potatoes, I would say peel them and then slice them into like rounds, the same way I did with the eggplant. You're gonna have to deep fry those as well. And some people also add carrots. Carrots are really delicious in maqloobeh. You want to deep fry those. If you have made maqloobeh before, or you've tried maqloobeh before, I'm curious to know. Your question for the video today is, what variations of maqloobeh have you tried? What are your favorite veggies to put in maqloobeh? I'd love to know in the comment section below. Next, we're gonna get started on the meat. Maqloobeh is fun, but it has a lot of steps. So we're gonna get started on the meat. So much meat, I can't even show you. 7 pounds of meat. Okay, but it's meat with bone in. So if you're gonna do meat with bone in, it's obviously gonna weigh a little bit heavier. The recipe will be found in the description box below. It'll take you to my blog, and then the full written recipe will be there. Somebody count how many times I say maqloobeh in this video. For this maqloobeh, I'm using lamb neck. So all the pieces are lamb neck. That was my mistake. I pulled the wrong bag out of the freezer. But it's fine because I've made it like this many times before, and this is what my family likes to eat. I'm just gonna go ahead and cook that. The spices that you will need are, so you're gonna need allspice, cinnamon, black pepper, and some cardamom, and this onion, and I'm gonna cut the onion into smaller pieces. Okay, so just quarter just like that, and now we're ready to cook our meat. Okay, so here's my pressure cooker. I like to make my meat in the pressure cooker. Boil on first, and then my meat, brown it, and then I'll put some water and all my spices. I need to pause right here. You do not need a pressure cooker. If you have the time, go ahead and use a regular pot and keep an eye on it. Boil it for about 1.5 hours to 2 hours, depending on the quantity of your meat. If you have an instant pot, you can use that as well. What I realized is comparing it to my regular pressure cooker, an instant pot needs more time because it's electric. It's gonna need more time to cook. So if this is gonna take me today 35 minutes to cook this amount of meat, the pressure cooker will need at least 45 minutes. Just keep that in mind. Okay, so do you see this? This water is all this, like, I don't know how to explain it. This was all here. We need to remove this. You want to skim it. So next you're gonna need some riz masri and some sha'riya. This is short grain calrose rice. Sha'riya is a vermicelli. It's like a really short pasta, like a tiny pasta. So here I have my vermicelli, 1 cup of sha'riya, and 3.5 cups of rice soaking in some water. My sha'riya dry and my rice soaking in some water. We're gonna set that aside for, I don't know, probably 45 minutes, 1 hour. Just kind of leave it and forget about it. We'll come back to it later. And now back to the eggplants that have been salting for quite a while. I'm just gonna pat these dry and squeeze out any excess moisture, and then we're gonna deep fry them. If you don't want to deep fry them, you can bake these. Alright guys, so my rice is drained. I drained it and I washed it until the water ran clear, and then I put it back into this bowl, and now we're gonna spice it up. The stock has a lot of flavor and spice, but to get that signature Maqloobeh color and to really get as much flavor as possible, I'm going to also, what is it called, spice and flavor my rice. So the spices you will need are 7 spice, cinnamon, cardamom, turmeric, and you put that right onto your rice, and you wanna mix around until all of the flavor is there and incorporate it and really soaking into the rice. The rice should absorb these flavors. So you're gonna need a pan. This is the one I'm gonna use because it's the same one I'm gonna use later when I want to toast my almonds. But if you're worried about like making a mess, you can also use a saucepan like this. This is a 4-quart, 3-quart. This is a 3-quart pan. Some people use a lot of oil. I try to use the least amount of oil as possible because I'm already deep frying my eggplant, and I'm already putting a lot of somewhat fatty meat into this dish. So I'm just gonna put a couple of teaspoons of oil into here. I use olive oil. You can use vegetable oil, it doesn't matter. And then you wanna toast your sha'riya until it gets to a nice golden color. And once it gets to this beautiful golden color, we're gonna put this directly on our rice, and you wanna mix one more time. We are ready to assemble. We've prepared all of the parts of the Maqloobeh, and now we need to put it together. And I need to sneeze. You're gonna need a pot. So I'm gonna show you my pot. You need a large pot, similar to this one. It does not have to be non-stick. I actually prefer the ones that are not non-stick, just like the regular old ones. This is the one I'm using because you need it to be wide and like short, as opposed to like the pasta pan that I used last episode. If you haven't checked out that pasta recipe, it's an amazing recipe. But the pasta pan was too high. You don't want to use something like that. It needs to be wide and short. Don't know how else to explain. So we're going to assemble. So here I have my empty pot, I have my rice, my baitanjan, some salt. Here's my lahmeh. I'll show you what it looks like. I'm gonna start by putting some rice in here, just a handful, so that nothing sticks to the bottom. And then I want to go in with my eggplant. Once the rice is there, the next thing I like to do is put the eggplant. That's my preference. You don't have to do it like that at all. If you prefer that the meat shows up first on the top, you can do that first and then put the eggplant. It doesn't matter, but I'm going to layer here eggplant and then meat and then more eggplant. If you had other things to put, you would add those at this point. All right, and now we need to go back to the stock, and the stock is what we're going to use to cook the rice and the maqloobeh. You're going to need to drain this because it has a lot of onions and spices and leftover little bits of meat that just kind of fell apart. So you want to drain this, and then when you have a clear stock, you need to taste for salt. I like to err on the side of a little bit salty because there are so many components in the maqloobeh that the salt can easily be lost, especially if you have potato in your maqloobeh. I would go a little bit extra salty. Potato drinks up a lot of salt. It will absorb that salt. And then the stock needs to go back on the stove so that it heats up. It needs to be boiling hot before we add it to the maqloobeh. So with your maqloobeh pot back on the stove, I would turn on the stove under the maqloobeh. Your pan needs to heat up so when you put the hot stock into it, it stays hot, you know, and it starts to cook the rice. And then take your wooden spoon and just gently push all of the rice under the stock. Once your maqloobeh is starting to boil now, just like this, you look for the little bubbles. Cover your maqloobeh and then set it on a medium-low heat for around 30 minutes. If you're not measuring, according to the instructions in my recipe, I would say go for about 1 centimeter of water or stock, over the rice. You should come back, and when you lift the lid, you listen for the absence of water. If nothing is bubbling or boiling in there, then your maqloobeh is done. I would say fluff it, because that top layer of rice is the last to cook because it has the least amount of water. So just flip the rice over and then close your lid and leave your maqloobeh off to the side. It needs to rest for a good 20 minutes. We're gonna toast some almonds. The almonds are for decoration, kind of, but mostly they're for taste. Like, I can't eat my maqloobeh without it. I feel like there's something missing. You have such a soft rice with soft eggplant or whatever else you put in there, and some like tender meat, but then you just need something crunchy, and the almonds provide that. So we're gonna toast these. Make sure, it's very important that you keep mixing your almonds as they're cooking. Almonds and nuts in general have a tendency to go from perfectly golden toasty to burnt in just a matter of seconds. So keep your eye on them and continue to mix them around. I only used a little bit of oil here, as you can see, but it coated all of the almonds. Okay, if you also wanna just dry toast them, you can do that as well. Okay, so I've recruited some help. First, you're gonna need something. You're gonna need a large pan like this. This is from the Arabi. It's just a tray. It's a tray, but it's really traditional to have this type of like stainless steel type of tray. And this one is just the perfect size for the pot that I have. To me, this is really, really important. You can't make maqloobeh and then like scoop it out and then flip it onto individual plates. No, you have to make the entire thing flipped onto this. So that's what we're gonna do, and I've recruited some help because I can't film and do this by myself, and actually it's quite heavy, so make sure you have a little bit of arm strength. And you're gonna need one of these because the bottom of the pan is gonna be really hot when you flip it. I know it looks so good, mashallah, alhamdulillah, like mashallah. Maqloobeh is typically served with yogurt or a cucumber yogurt or a regular salad, an Arab salad or whatever other salad you like. Or you can just chop up some veggies probably and leave them on the side as a snack. It's all whatever, just eat whatever you like. I hope that you enjoy what you eat and that you enjoy cooking for your family or for yourself. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here, for making maqloobeh with me. This was a challenge. I'm so happy that I did it. It's a challenge to film, not a challenge to make. So fun, so easy to make, but I'm so happy I was able to film this for you so you guys can make your own maqloobeh at home. I would love to see your recreations. If you make maqloobeh and you take a picture of it, please remember to take a picture. please remember to tag me on Instagram or on Twitter. All the links for my social media is in the description box below. I am so happy you are here with me today and that you followed along, for following along with this, weird English. Let me know of any other recipes you'd like to see me try next. I have a long list of things I want to make, inshallah, for you guys. So stay tuned, make sure you subscribe, share the video with your friends and your family, and I will see you next time, inshallah.